The first presenter is Dato' Azman Amin bin Hassan, and he is the Director General of the Malaysian National Unity. Thank you. Director General of Malaysian National Unity and Integration Department in the Prime Minister's Department. In his capacity, he has built a dialogue with religious organizations such as the Allied Coordinating Committee of Islamic NGOs, the Malaysian Consultative Council of Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Sikhism, and Taoism, and the National Peace Foundation. He has developed local mechanism for interreligious cooperation through religious relation units and state-level community mediation teams. As a chief of the peace-building collaboration, he has engaged institution of higher education. Without further ado, please welcome the first presenter, Dato' Azman Amin bin Hassan.
A very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Our eminent speakers, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. And today is an honor for me to be here to share with you what we have in Malaysia with regards to managing social cohesion and also the religious harmony in Malaysia. So within this 10 to 15 minutes, I suppose, just like to share some of our experience here in Malaysia. And I do hope from this we can actually, how can we collaborate with other nations as well and to be peace under one family under God. So what do we do? We're talking about sustaining harmony through national unity for national development. And you're going to have the introduction, what we do, and how do we measure social cohesion in Malaysia. But for your information, I think in the bags, we also have included a special booklet on what they call Unity Aspiration that's been published by my department. I think through that booklet, you can at least understand the whole thing about what we are doing here in Malaysia. But today, I try to focus on certain things that I feel that you all need to know. There's some background about Malaysia. In terms of ethnicities, we have the Malay, we have the Chinese, 26% Malay, 53%, the indigenous Sabah Sarawak groups, 11.8, the Indians 7.7, and others as well. And in terms of religion, we have all the big religion of the world is here. In Malaysia, we have the Islam, 60% the Buddhists, 19, Christian 9.1, the Hindus 6.2, Taoists 2.9, the Sikh 0.3, and others as well. And our country is small. We are divided by the South China Sea, and all in all, it's about 330,000 square kilometers. And with a population of over 28 million, we have 28.6 million. So just a modest kind of population in Malaysia. Okay, next, just a snapshot. I think I like to just move forward. I just focus on this big agenda. So in 1969, we have this race riot incident in Malaysia, whereby more than 280 people died of that incident, and happens in the West Coast, in Kuala Lumpur and other parts of bigger towns in the West Coast. But immediately after this incident, 1969 incident, this department was being formed on the 30th July 69. And the government come up with this bold policy, what they call as new economic policy. And this is a big milestone for the development of Malaysia, whereby the government have introduced the two-pronged strategy in terms of our national development. That is the eradication of poverty immaterial of race, number one. And number two, to restructuring the society economic activities not determined by race. Because actually, before 69, you can see the Malays are in the villages, they are paddy planters, the Indians in the estate, in the rail industry, and the Chinese normally in the urban doing business. So we are divided by race. But under this policy, the government tried to enhance the development and how can we share the equity of the nation so that there's not much gap between the races. And if one race is below par than others, it creates a problem to this country. So government noticed that and we have this policy. And with all this policy, we can see that education, be it cultural, social policy, youth policy, economic policy, and housing policy, all are focused towards national unity. That's why we say we don't have national unity policy in a small package, but it comes under all the government policies today in Malaysia. And it's very pertinent because that's how we develop and under these modern days programs, new economic policies as such, until today, the policy still move in that direction. And this statement by our present Prime Minister, he says we must sow the seeds of goodwill and understanding in every corner of this land so that we continue to harvest the fruits of progress and prosperity for all Malaysians. It's a very important statement being made by our Prime Minister. And what we do in Malaysia, actually, these are some of the programs that is about promoting the culture of peace and harmony, instilling goodwill and understanding, building upon our shared realities, engaging one another to address disputes, and also resolving conflicts in constructive ways. So this is one, what we call the neighborhood scheme, or Rukun Tetangga, we call it in Malaysia, established in 75. Those days it was under the security concept, but now we have progressed 83 to neighborliness and 2001 to community development. And at present we have 6,441 neighborhood association or Rukun Tetangga all over the country, and involving 161,000 community members, but including the youth wings, the ladies wing, we come up to nearly 500,000 people working voluntarily under this program, and we cover the population of 15 million people in Malaysia, which is urban and semi-urban population. This is our strength, and our Rukun Tetangga is a community-based organization. So it's one of the huge organizations, the community organization that operates throughout the country today. Okay, the Trust of Community Development Program. So we have a lot of programs under this department. In fact, last year we have more than 185 activities run by this Rukun Tetangga scheme, whether it be sport, recreation, social, welfare, cultural, security, education, health, economy, and religion. So all aspects of activities that we run within the community, and we run it with the community as well. Okay, now we're talking about a voluntary patrolling scheme. It's one of the schemes being introduced by the government, by my department in fact. How can we address the issue of security in this country? Because I remember the last few years, one of the concern issues in this country is about security, because about hand snatch theft, people breaking in the house and whatnot is on the rise. And people is a bit worried about it. And under the government initiative, we have the NKRA program, National Key Resort Areas. We assist the government. And we have this program whereby we have 3,872 schemes involving 150,000 volunteers who patrol at night, taking care of their own community. So we empower the community. We give them all the jackets, all the, here they are, the caps and the whistle and whatnot. They didn't have the gun, but they carry only the rattan. But to ensure peace prevail within the community, and actually we did a survey actually, whereby 93% of the people who stays in our programs in the voluntary patrolling scheme feel safe. So it's we target for only 60%, but 93% people who stays in the area says we feel very safe when you have these programs. You know, we empower the community. So it's another big programs here. We inculcate the unity through kids, through our children, whereby we have kindergartens also. We have 1781 this year, involving about 42,988 children from various races who attend these classes. And through their parents also, we run a lot of programs, community programs, that will bind us together in Malaysia. And this is very interesting. It's about building peace. What we call a mediator community, we have here today, 2013, the total number is 874. They are community leaders who have been trained by our clinical sociologist, Dr. Wan Halim. And these people were the one to resolve any conflict that happens within the community at the grassroots level. And we are expecting to train every year 300 people of these community mediators. And now we may include people from other agencies as well and other NGOs as well to be with us, because we found out it's a very effective way of curbing the conflicts, the small fire from spreading become a bigger fire. And what happened was last year, more than 200 cases has been resolved through our mediator community. And we are having this case conferencing to train and to build up the confidence level of these mediators. And we do hope that we can achieve much in terms of assisting to build peace in this country. Okay, next. This is another interesting aspect that we are dealing. And we have this Committee for Promotion of Interreligious Understanding and Harmony that has been set up by our Cabinet of Malaysia. And through this committee, we operate with all the Muslim and the non-Muslim religious leaders. And the last 2 years, I happen to be the chairman of this committee also. And I found it very interesting because we have been sitting together and try to resolve all the issues that happen in this country, and how can we collaborate among each other between religious leaders in Malaysia, be it Muslim, the Christian, Hindu, Sikh, Tao, and Buddhist. And now we include the Baha'i also in this group for this year. And whereby every year we have lunch and we have a meeting with our Prime Minister to listen to his keynote address. But what is important is these people were engaged in a kind of activities, social activities together, and to enhance and build up the rapport and the harmony between various races in Malaysia. It's a big challenge actually, a lot of issues with regards to religion, but I do believe through this committee we managed to really control and do our best to resolve some of the issues within the community. Okay, this is a program, Unity Education by National Integration Research and Training. We have this ECLIN is our training wings of the department, whereby we train community leaders through mediation, and also we train our teachers and as well as our staff as well. And we have a lot of unity integration program. We have 56 this year, nationhood, ethnic relation, and whatnot, where we involve all the community leaders through this initiative. Okay, I just run it very fast. Wow. Okay. So in this integration program, we have the visits from East and West Malaysia. The community leaders, they go down there for a week. They have the what they call programs, stay with the community, and they attend all the sessions. And it's one of the most effective programs that build up the bonding between the citizens of Malaysia today. And we have homestay program with the youth. And for the last 2 years, we are focusing on the youth programs. And we engage them through all these meaningful activities. And this is another program, we call it Rukun Negara, or Malaysian National Ideology. So the whole idea after 69 is how can we build up Malaysia as a nation, and we will try to achieve united, democratic, just, liberal, and progressive society. And we have the 5 principles as mentioned yesterday: believe in God, loyalty to king and country, upholding the constitution, the rule of law, and good behavior. And that's how we attack. We go through schools and also to all our institutions of higher learning. And now we have 5, 8, 11 clubs in all the schools throughout the nation. And also we engage also through universities, training college, community college, and polytechnics as well, 138, the numbers. And we did a lot of programs through the people here, our youth, and engage in a lot of programs and activities. And today they are part of our participants here. We do invite them also here. So a big hand to them. And I really very inspired to engage and involve with these people because they are very creative and very enthusiastic and try to run a lot of activities with collaboration of this department. So we have a lot of unity programs. I think you can see in our books as well. Cross-cultural program. This is one of the programs we did with Global Peace Festival Malaysia. Midnight football, we call it, off the street, on the ball. It's a very innovative program whereby we engage the kids who have problems in school. And through this program, they will become a good student and a very humble kind of a student who are very active in the society as well. So we have in Sentul, and we have quite a number of activities. The last few years we run, it's very meaningful. And we have Global Peace Leadership Exchange Program, especially with the Korean. I think last year about 800 Koreans came to Malaysia. And I remember first time when I introduced the durian, they don't know what is durian all about. I said, eat the fruit, the king of the fruit. And when they started to eat the durian, and they called their friends, from 50 people, 100 people, and later on it come up to 800 people coming here. And the first thing they ask, do you have durian? And we promote our local fruits here. And our brothers and sisters from Korea, we have a lot of engagement with the community. And you can see they enjoy their stay here. So we have linkages project with the community as well. So we engage them in creative and character building programs through Secretariat Rukun Negara. So there's some other linkages with all these youth programs. How do we measure? Just give me another 5 minutes. So we have 2 components that we measure social cohesion in Malaysia. One is societal stress index or social stress index, and the other one is social relation index. So the social stress index, here, the way we measure, we look at the terrorism and riot, number of cases, we look at demonstration and protests, the numbers of attacks and quarrels within the community, and issues in the media that we manage to capture daily. And as shown in 2008, after the 12th election, the index was quite high, 27.9 per million population. And last year was only 19.9. That shows we are progressing. And in terms of numbers of attacks and quarrels, we can see it's greatly reduced because of our mediators that work at the grassroots. How can they resolve some of the crises and also quarrels at the community levels, you know? So this is a kind of a negative index, I should call, the way we look at it. And the other component is societal relationship model or index. It's more of a kind of positive index, how people interact, how they trust each other and whatnot, the collaboration between races. So we can see the score 1 to 4. And what we see here, acceptance number 1, the worst part is number 4, the segregation whereby people are divided. But we measure in terms of community and also the individual relationship with others, ethnic and community. And the score that we found out for this year, January to June 13, which were the 26 batches that we approached, the score was for the individual was 1.4, that is very good. And also the community is 1.49. So the worst is number 4, but we are within still number 1. So it shows that our cohesion in Malaysia is still very strong in that sense. Okay, next. So we have this on the 25th of November, I think last 2 weeks. Our Prime Minister has set up this committee known as National Unity Consultative Council. And through this council, it make up of leaders, community leaders, the NGOs, academicians, politicians as well. And from opposition also, we do include them. And we do hope that under this committee, we will manage to resolve some of the big issues that arise in this country. And we're going to have 5 working committees under this committee. And the first sitting will be on the 6th of January next year, 2014. So the way forward, we're going to list down of 10 programs that we're going to move forward. Okay, next. Okay, the last, I guess it's a very important message from Reeve Jackson Sr. Malaysia, who profess many cultures, religions, and languages, must become one nation under a common umbrella. The many languages should bear a common message because to grow, you have to tear down walls and bridges. That's very important. People cannot survive in their own little groups as Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians. Those who live in one nation must find common ground. It's a very important statement to Malaysia. I'd like to thank you very much. Nandre, Zizi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.